Hello and welcome to this timeless reading, Messages from Our Grandmother. So this could be your actual grandmother, a grandmother type figure in your life, or even just kind of the archetypal grandmother energy, which is the wise woman, the crone, the one who imparts wisdom to us. So there are three piles as always. Pile number 1 is on the left, pile 2 in the center, pile 3 over on the right. Drop in and listen to which pile is speaking to you. And I have timestamps below the video so you can get to your reading nice and quick. I will see you there. Hey Pile 1, welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and get right on into it. So what does the grandmother want to offer to you here today? Well, we have the goddess Mawu. So I am picking up a very grounded energy, someone who is very committed and connected to the earth. The grandmother that I'm picking up on had quite a beautiful garden filled with lots of, it's interesting because I was going to say roses, but it was like she loved the roses, but she loved the greenery. So there were a lot of trees. I'm also seeing an orange in my third eye. So perhaps she had an orange tree or just kind of loved the scent of orange flowers, but I'm actually seeing the fruit orange. But this grandmother energy was very much, she was very grounded, and she kind of, what I'm hearing is, held the family together, held it all together. She was the matriarch and she didn't shy away from that role. And for some of you, this woman, this grandmother, actually raised you. So perhaps she, and there's a lot of different ways that can play out. There's a lot of different scenarios, but it could be that she was kind of like the nanny, the caregiver, while mom was at work or dad was at work. Or perhaps she just kind of took sole custody of you. But there's a very strong, very strong connection between you and her, and it goes beyond and deeper than just your quote unquote typical grandmother granddaughter bond. This is deep. This is soul level love that I'm feeling. It is unconditional. It is sacred, and you are very much like her. Is also what I'm picking up on. Okay. And I also feel like you might have a plant. There's a lot of plants in my third eye right now, but it's almost like she left you a plant and you are tending to it and taking care of it. And it really helps keep this connection, helps you feel like the connection is still alive. Okay. So what signs does she use to communicate? Ladybugs. I just felt somebody like gasp. When you see a ladybug, just know that your grandmother is very much near and present with you. And what she really wants you to know is she's always present, but it's almost like when you get up in your head and kind of get out of that grounded nature, there's a ladybug that passes through your plane, whether it's you see a graphic on social media with a ladybug on it, or you find a ladybug in your house or something like that. And what she's saying is you can believe it even though it seems unlikely. So it's like you find ladybugs or you see a ladybug in the most unexpected place and you question. And she just wants you to trust in the connection and in the signs that she's using to communicate. Accept happiness and good fortune. I do pick up that despite the fact that she was very grounded and she kind of, what I'm hearing is she kept things going. Her life wasn't always very easy. And there are times where you just kind of wish that you could have offered her more, or you could have, I'm hearing like blessed her more, or even paid for things. So maybe financially things weren't very easy on her. And you have this generous heart, and there are moments where you wish you could have done more for her. You wish you could have given her money to help her and support her. But what she most wants you to know right now is that it's time for you to be happy. You are almost kind of like living out this family thread, is what I'm hearing, of like just accepting unhappiness, accepting even just the status quo and trying to make yourself happy. And it's time for you to level up. It's time for you to accept and ask for more, because abundance is yours and it wants to, and she wants you to receive it. She wants to accept it. And I'm also picking up, it's like, she left you. So it's two things. Maybe she lived frugally, or she was very thrifty, and it's almost like there's this inheritance sitting here that is quite large, and she's gifted it to you. And now there's a lot of almost like resistance. It's like, like any relationship, when we lose someone and then we get something like a lot of money, it's not always readily received, and it's kind of bittersweet because you would give it all back for another moment. And I'm hearing like another heartbeat. I might cry. Another moment with her. Okay, but she wants you to accept it. She wants you to receive it. And she knows that you are going to use it wisely. You're going to use it, she's saying, to invest in yourself. You're going to take courses that really help you get your dreams off the ground. You're going to spend it on things for your home that you're going to enjoy and think of her every time you look at. So that's the message that I'm picking up on. But she does have something that she wants you to let go of. And it's, your glass is always refillable, flow like water instead of holding on to perceptions. So it's almost like you are seeing her life in one way, and that's not exactly how she experienced it. So she was a very happy woman despite the hardship. It's like she made the most of the hardship, or she elevated herself with every lesson that was dished to her, with every challenge that she faced. It was like, I can overcome this. If I can overcome some of the other stuff, I can overcome this. She has like a very fightery fight. She's got a fighter spirit, and it's very grounded. Her energy is wonderful. I can see why. I can see why this loss has hit quite hard for you. But she wants you to remember that I'm hearing like there's always more where that came from. So it's like, if you are living in a little bit of a lack state of mind right now, she wants you to start to remember that your resources, your energy, your time, your money, it's like I'm drawing a blank here. There's always more where that came from. It's refillable. It will be replenished, is what I'm hearing. Okay, loosen your grip on life. Let it flow. Let the good times roll, is what I'm hearing. She might have been a rock and roll. It's like I'm seeing this like adorable lady, little old lady in her garden, listening to like Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones and maybe even Bon Jovi. But she's a cool chick. Grateful to be in her energy. Thank you for sharing her with me during this reading. But she does want you to really open up and let good things happen. Okay. Now finishing it up, we are starting off your tarot with, let's see, this is the page. This is the Page of Pentacles. Okay. And this is like really starting to consider what it is you want to invest in regards to money, but also your time and your energy. Her passing was a little bit of a wake-up call to you. I think it was relatively unexpected. I'm not picking up like a longer drawn out illness or whatnot, but it kind of left you, I'm like almost like blindsided and not knowing what to do, or not knowing, or what I'm hearing is like knowing that we aren't promised tomorrow, knowing that life is short. And so right now, really take some time, carve out a weekend where you just kind of sit with yourself and consider what you want for your life, what you want to spend your time doing. You're in a job that you don't like, is what she's saying. And you're also in a job that doesn't necessarily value you. And there are changes that you can make. She wants you to know that there are changes that you can make to get out of, she's saying, the hole you're living in. But it's almost like, it's not like you're living in a shack or anything. It's just like energetically, and in regards to your happiness, it's like a hole. It's a dark hole, a black hole. And you can get out of it, but it is going to take you first knowing or getting a general idea of where it is you want to go, where it is you want to end up. Okay. And then in the center, I love this. We have the crone, or the grandmother of swords. And this is really about knowing your truth, standing firmly in it, and then sharing it with others in a way that's going to bring them with you or bring them along for the ride. Just kind of knowing, mastering your words, mastering your thoughts, being able to articulate, is what I'm hearing, what exactly it is you want. Because right now you're asking yourself, what do I want? And the response is, I don't know. And she's saying, you do know. You just don't think you can have it. But you can have it is what I'm hearing, okay? You can have it. It's just going to take your effort. And then your final card is, boom, the Eight of Wands. I think this is one of my favorite cards in the tarot. I might say that about almost every card in the tarot though. But just know that once you set your sights, once you set your sights on something, become focused on it. Move towards it consciously and intentionally, one step at a time. And she's going to be with you every step of the way. And she said, watch for the ladybugs. When you're on the right path, she's going to send you ladybugs. When you're starting to question if you're on the right path, she'll send you some ladybugs or plants. There's like, again, I'm seeing like a lot of plants. I'm seeing oranges where, she's just going to let you know to keep going, to stay your course, to believe that you can have what it is you want. Okay. Crows may also be a sign for you in regards to your grandmother. I think that you started to see a lot of crows at the time of her passing, or ravens, and they typically are a sign of transformation, endings, beginnings, death, and rebirth. Okay, but find what it is you want. She just said, no, girl, like, they know what they want. She knows what she wants. She knows, she just needs to enter into this belief that she can have it. And she said she can have it. Ooh, what a beautiful message. Oh my gosh. Like I said, thank you for sharing her with me. What a treat. And I hope this reading resonates. I hope that this is helpful and supportive of your process. If it resonates, go ahead and let me know with a like or a comment. That's a great way to support free tarot here on YouTube. And if you want a personal reading, go ahead and check out my offers in the video description. But get focused on what you want and then take those steps and just know and trust that she is with you. Okay? All right, Pile 1, that is what I have for you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Hey, Pile 2, welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and see what the grandmother energy has to offer you here today. So we have the goddess Una, easy does it. There's no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect time. So I will tell you that this is kind of like a broader grandmother energy. This is kind of the crone stepping forward and letting you know that you can't force whatever transformation you're in the heart of right now. Now, this could also be a grandmother, if this resonates, a grandmother that was really easygoing, that went with the flow. I'm like picking up someone who didn't make too many plans because she just believed that she would end up where she needed to be. I just heard chronically late, like late to everything and not bothered. And maybe it bothered other people, but she wasn't bothered by being late to everything. Okay. She might communicate with you through doves, through rainbows. And I think, what is this? Sorry, I think that's a calla lily down in the corner. But this is someone who was like relatively, like her feathers didn't get very ruffled. The matriarch of the family at one point in time, but let others, didn't necessarily want to be in control or need to be in control. She would much rather other people do, you know, like family dinners and family gatherings. If one of the kids or one of her sisters or brothers wanted to host, she was like, yeah, that's totally fine. Just like a very easygoing energy. So that's a little bit of a specific grandmother coming in, but in general, if that's not connecting, the overall archetype is just one that lets life happen, lets things flow to her, lets things go with a lot of ease and a lot of grace, and someone who trusts the timing. Okay. So what other signs, I know I mentioned the dove, the rainbow, and the calla lily, what other signs is she going to be sharing with you over the process of the next, or over the course of the next couple of weeks? And we have the rhinoceros, and in the back you have Metatron's cube, as well as the spiral, and just kind of glyphs, all sorts of glyphs. But the rhino is a call to be strong and courageous. So I get the impression that you're not in your comfort zone with letting things, like with going with the flow, okay? And the rhinoceros and the grandmother energy that's coming in is saying, be strong and courageous. Let yourself trust that right now things are working out for you. That if you just let, and I feel like you're working through a specific situation or you're healing something specific, if you just let this happen, if you just let it flow, you're going to get there faster and with a whole lot more faith. You might be trying to do, what so many of us do, paddle upstream. And the energy that came in is throw the paddle to shore. You don't need it. You can't use that. You can't, that's not going to serve you right now. You just got to kind of let this happen. And the rhino spirit is going to be with you and help you settle into that. It takes time for us to enter the flow, for us to enter that state of surrender. But make no mistake, that is what you must do at this time. And I think you know that. And I think that's like really getting to you right now, because again, not something you are, what I'm hearing is it's like not something you're skilled at yet. All right. But each of the grandmothers has something that they want you to let go of. And for you guys, it's let go of the old tales and write your own adventure story. Okay. So it's almost as though you're trying to live your life in accordance to how other people live their life. And that's just not going to work for you, because you're a light worker, a healer, and a starseed. And you're here to write a new story, to create a new fairy tale, to really enter your own happy ending, or decide and determine what your happy ending is. Okay. But I think once that starts happening, once it appears, because sometimes it's like it appears you're going off course, and that's when you start paddling. But Spirit is saying you're supposed to go off course because the course wasn't that great to begin with. So let go of whatever path you're trying to follow, whatever standards you're attempting to live up to. Those aren't the standards that you're here to live by. That's not the path that you're here to walk. This is very much, and I'm almost hearing it's like a choose your own adventure story, where there's going to be certain parts in the story where you're going to be faced with options, and it's completely up to you which one you choose. But you're kind of thrown off when you enter, like when you're offered the options and the one that you think should be there is not there. That's because that one is like from the old timeline and the old paradigm, and you're being presented with higher vibrational offerings. Like they're saying your vibe is too high for what's happened in the past. You're going places, you're going to achieve great things, but you're not going to be able to do it by living in the matrix, by abiding by the stories and the path of the matrix. Okay. That just came in like a real, I don't know, oomph, like with some real pizzazz. I don't use the word pizzazz, so I'm assuming that somebody's grandmother was like very pizzazzy, if you will. But yeah, you're here to march to the beat of your own I was going to say drum, but bongo. And she did that. This grandmother energy did that. And that was kind of why maybe she was a little eccentric. Maybe she was a little bit of the, bizarre family member who was like, you never know what kind of crazy things she's going to say or do, because she lived her life for herself. She wasn't living it for others. She did her own thing in her own time and in her own way. And yeah, that triggered the hell I'm hearing out of your mother. Like that really just like got your mother's goat, but she lived a good life and she was happy, and that's the path those are the footsteps you're here to walk. That's the path you're here to follow, or those are the footsteps you're here to follow as well. And it's almost like you're torn between living the life that your mom or your maternal figure wants for you, and kind of living this way that your grandmother lived. Okay. So that's what I'm hearing. But what specific messages does she have for you? Yeah. So we're starting with the Knight. I'm sorry, this is the Page. The Page of Swords, which is really some new ideas coming in, getting things down on paper, starting to, hey, listen, you've got a novel, you've got a book on your heart. This is a very clear message. And what I'm picking up on is your grandmother would be an amazing character to add into that, but you have this book on your heart, you're not writing it. And I'm hearing like a maternal figure saying, and it's not your grandmother, there's two distinct voices here, but your maternal figure saying like, you can't make a living through the arts, or through writing, or through dance, or through theater, or through music. But your grandmother is like, girl, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And she's your biggest fan, and she's going to be cheering you on. Oh, I might cry, but like it's like she's going to be front row and center. She just said mostly because they don't have seats for spirits. They don't need them. But she's going to be front and center watching you shine, giving you a standing ovation. She has blind faith in your ability to do what you love and receive abundantly from it. Okay, so it's like start the process of getting your thoughts, it's like getting the vision out into the world. And for you, I am picking up, we see this individual, we see this page writing, but it could be writing music, it could be painting, it could be, being a spiritual advisor, or, taking on a mystic, mystic psychic healer role. But you can do it. And she just said you can, and you will. She's going to kind of make it uncomfortable for you to not, all right? But you can and you will. And she's going to bombard you with doves and rainbows and Metatrons, cubes, and the spiral and rhinos. I mean, you're going to watch, because you're going to see so many rhinos. You're going to be like, oh my God, you're going to get tired of them, is what she just said. But she'll be that confrontational about it if she sees you not living to your fullest potential. She's a firecracker. So as go with the flow as she is, it's almost like she was as go with the flow as she was, because she knew, because for her, she was like, there was no other option. Like it wasn't an option for me to play it safe, or to play it small, or to toe the line. Okay, and she just said, and your grandfather loved her for that. That was what he loved the most about her. He wasn't triggered by that. And she's saying, like, now your mother, my love, she was triggered by my go with the flow, my eccentric side. But your grandfather, it's what made him fall in love with her. Okay, and so next we have the Two of Pentacles, which is about balance. It's about juggling. She said it's about learning to be in the circus, but not partake in it, is what she said. So maybe family dinners or family gatherings are a little dysfunctional, or a little bit on the crazy side, but she's saying, like, you can still be there and be your full self and not engage with the antics, the theatrics. And that's your ticket forward in handling those functions. But it's about juggling. It's about being who you really are, and who you want to be, and still showing up and still being present. So maybe if you've created a lot of space between you and your family members, how can you start to slowly come back to that? How can you start to come back to your family? If that feels safe, if that feels like something you want to do, but coming back and still being yourself, not shying away, not dimming. Okay, and then your final card, yeah, I'm feeling this vibe, the Knight of Wands. This is very much ride your passion all the way to abundance. Get on your wild horse and just go, just do it. Don't ask others for permission. Don't even let them know what you're doing, because sometimes it's like you check in, you maybe like give mom or dad or whoever a call and say like, oh, well, I'm considering going on a yoga retreat. And that's like making them gasp. Or I'm going to write a book. I'm going to take this writing course, or, I'm going to take a dance class, or, whatever it is. Don't even ask them. Don't even tell them. It's not something, and it's not one of those, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. It's not that at all. It's like, it doesn't even concern them, but they have a lot of opinions. But just she's saying, like, just get on with it. Just do it. Because your results, your talent is going to bring them over to the others, like to bring them over to your side. It's going to make them see like, oh, wow, like, yeah, you're talented and you can make money from it. Or yeah, you're talented and this makes you really happy. Because it's like they see that that you have a gift, but they don't necessarily see what you receive from it. Like if there are things that are more important to you, or she corrected me. There are things that are just as important to you. It's that just as important as money to you. So it might not necessarily be that you want to make money off of this gift. It might be that just doing it is a creative release or a form of self-expression, and that's the reward that you get. But your family, they're rolling in the matrix, like fully plugged in, not looking to unplug anytime soon. And they don't get that. They don't get the importance of following your passion. And she just said they don't even know, like, they don't even understand this idea of having a higher calling. For them, it's like you go to school, you graduate, you get a well-paying job, you get a person that loves you, and then you have kids, and that's the rest of your life. And she's saying you're here for more than that. Like, seriously, you're here for more than that. And so it's time for you to start doing it. All right. All right, pile 2, that's what I have for you. Please let me know how this resonates, either with a thumbs up or a comment. If you want a personal reading, you can check out my offerings down in the video description. But I'm happy for you. I'm happy to be able to deliver this message. Thank you for sharing your grandmother's energy with me. And until next time, bye. Hey, pile 3, welcome to your reading. So I have to tell you, when I got the call to do this reading, I was like, oh, that's a little different from anything that I've ever done before. But these have been some very good readings so far, and I just have a feeling yours is going to be pretty, I'm hearing like hot, like yours is going to be hot as well. Okay, so the grandmother energy that's coming in, yeah, here we go. Here's this hotness. Ishtar, what a badass. Your grandmother energy that's coming in has firm boundaries. Nobody messed with her. And she might have even been, what I'm hearing is a little standoffish. For some of you, you didn't have a very strong relationship with her. In fact, you kind of said, like, should I even watch this reading? I don't even know if there was any bond or connection. And there is definitely a connection here. And Ishtar's message, the tagline on her card is, love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. And your grandmother was excellent at saying no. She was not going to be the nanny. She was not going to be coming in, swooping in to save you or your parents. She was her own woman. She had her own goals, her own desires. I'm hearing that she was well-traveled. I'm hearing that she, really, like, not just well-traveled. I mean, she saw the world, and her emphasis seems to have been art. She really liked going to museums and art galleries. I'm seeing the Victoria and Albert Museum in my third eye. But yeah, like, I'm seeing that she traveled, and maybe even she was like, she might have even been a docent, to be completely honest, because that's how passionate she was about art. She may have even had a lot of art. Like, it was almost like her home was a gallery. And what she just said is that it was a gallery or a testament to her life. There weren't a lot of pictures of you and your brothers and sisters or any family members. It wasn't what got her going. She really built a home and a life that, like, she was determined to live it. She wasn't going to let life live her. She was determined to live it. And it's because she loved herself. She really valued her time. She really respected her mind. I get the impression that she either didn't remarry because she was too busy off living her life, or she was never married to begin with. This was a like a strong, badass grandma. She might have even, like, she just showed me like a grandmother riding a motorcycle. So maybe she even had a motorcycle. Quite eclectic taste, right? Art galleries and motorcycles. Maybe she was riding her Vespa to various museums in Italy and Spain and France and whatnot. But really strong, vibe, and she really wants you to step into your power right now. You're kind of, well, life is living you, is what she said, and you're letting other people, and she said mostly your children, dictate your future. And there is going to come a certain point in time when you become bitter and resentful of that. So I'm picking up, maybe your kids are in their earlier years, and it's just like you're trying to be mother of the year, you're trying to be everyone to everything. And she says there's no harm in that, but what do you have left for you? What time, what energy, what are you putting into you? What are you pouring into you? It's almost like, you know, sometimes we're here to do ancestral healing, heal the lines. Yeah, like it's almost like this is happening in reverse, where like she did substantial healing and now she wants to pass the baton to you, but right now the way you're living, it's just it's hard for you to do that. You're struggling, you know, you're not in your power right now, right? If you, and hold no shame about that. I don't know any woman who has ever not experienced a time where she wasn't in her power, but right now is your time and you're not in your power. But she's saying we're gonna get there, and she just said we're gonna do it together. So she is wanting to connect with you regularly. She doesn't want you to think that you're alone in this. She knows she just said she knows the way because she walked the way, and she's going to share it with you, and she's going to be giving you signs. She's going to give you what I'm hearing is like very clear messages of what needs to happen at this point in your life. Okay. She's like the type that, you know, you sit up and listen around her. And you toe the line, not because that's what she requires, but because her energy is that, has that strength in it. Okay. Now, signs and things, what is it that she's going to be using to really connect with you? And when I pulled this card earlier, it's interesting because it came face up. So it is clearly the donkey, but what I was picking up on was a very Mother Mary vibe. Okay. Thank you. She's saying like she's going to support you. She's going to carry you into this next chapter or through this kind of disempowerment or even like victim energy that you're holding right now. She's going to carry you. She will be the donkey. And I don't actually get the impression, sorry, that she's going to be using donkeys to communicate with you. And I said sorry because every other pile had such strong indicators. But this blue energy, I'm seeing like blue butterflies, or I'm seeing stars, I'm seeing glitter and sparkles and stuff like that. Go towards the things that glitter, go towards the things that sparkle, that light up your eyes, because right now it's almost like you're going through to the other stuff. You know, there might be some there's like new mom energy here. I love you, new moms. I was a new mom at one point, so this isn't a dig at you. But at that point in time, like it's a newborn, but you really are locked into being super mom. And it's okay for you to delegate. It's okay for you to hand over the baby to dad every once in a while. Okay. She just said he won't drop it. But it was like funny because she was like very clear with it, not she or he or the baby. It was like it. So maybe she wasn't a baby person. I get the impression she wasn't. But yeah, she's going to walk with you and she's going to help you every step of the way. And she might use very common Mother Mary symbols for you. It might be the scent of roses or roses themselves. It might be that you start seeing, I just heard, you might be seeing a whole lot of Jesus moving forward, but that's what I'm picking up for you right now. So what is it that she really wants you to let go of? Make real progress by pushing aside perfection and never looking back. And yeah, weren't we talking about that? It's like you're trying to be perfect. You're trying to be, I actually have my Mother Mary like reachable. You're trying to be Mother Mary, but Mother Mary had whole lot of help, right? So yeah, you loosen your expectation or lower your expectation of yourself. Let people help you. Let people help you. And for some of you, you know, she's also saying some of you have kids that are old enough. I always get these messages. There will come a day when somebody needs to tell them to me, okay? So, but your kids are old enough to do certain things themselves. But you want to give them, this is from her, you want to give them the childhood that you didn't have. They already have the childhood you didn't have. You've done good, but don't don't make them expectant that like people are going to serve them and wait on them their whole life. That was a big message. She's shaking her head, like shaking her head at whatever's going on, okay? So next step, we have the Four of Cups. She wants you to consider what exactly it is you're looking at, because there are some things that are right there for you. Pardon me. There are some things that are right there for you, things that you want, that you already have, that you're still like longing for or waiting for. And it's just because you haven't used them. And it's like you want to go, like a simple example is you're waiting for the money to be able to take a spa day. But if you look in your purse, there's a gift card to a local spa. You want to be able to, you know, not worry about dinner. And I'm hearing like it's very like domestic stuff, which is totally cool. But it's like you want to be able to not have to worry about dinner one night and you have like 17,000 frozen lasagnas in your fridge. Eat one. Stop making them and eat one, okay? But there's like a lot that you're putting off. There's a lot that you're not seeing because you're hyper-focused on, it's like you're hyper-focused on what's already there, but you're not seeing that it's already there, which is a very common message for the feminine, okay? So just take a little look at that, all right? Then we have the Hermit energy. Alone time would do you well right now, but you have to be willing to let people help you. You have to be willing to let other people take on responsibilities. And she just said, like, this is a little bit of a forked message. So some of you have people that are like very willing to take over, to take control, to help you and support you, but you won't let them. And others, it's almost like you've made it seem like you're going to handle everything so they don't even ask. And what's really started to happen, and you're a little ticked off about this, is they just expect it of you now. And there's a reworking of your boundaries that needs to happen. And some of these is like your boundaries with yourself, where, I don't know, she said you like your lists. Don't we all like our lists? But make a list of like 10 things that you are relatively comfortable with letting someone else do, and then let them do it. Even if they don't, this message came in recently, even if they don't do it to your standards, it's okay. You're working on being less perfect. Let other people also be less perfect too. Okay. And what she wants you to know is like downtime, quiet time, alone time to get centered in yourself and experience other people helping you is going to have you racing towards your desires, towards a new way of life, a new way of being. We have card number 7, the Chariot. Okay. But it's like she said, like the only person keeping you where you are is you. The only person holding you back is you. And she's going to be with you. She's like, my granddaughter is not going to, or my grandson is not going to be living this way. She's worth more. She's capable of more, and she wants more. And so it's like the donkey and the horse. I don't know. It just feels like a very, not to completely send my cards into disarray, but this is a very strong message. Let yourself be carried. Let yourself be, it's like, let yourself be carried. Get on the horse. Charge ahead towards what you want. Okay. She's like a real can of whoop ass. So here's the thing, like if you, and it's not like, it's not malicious, it's not dense, it's just like she loves you and she wants more for you. She wants you to live the life that you want to live, but you keep putting it off, or it's like you don't even keep putting it off. It's just, I don't know, like she's like, yeah, I don't know either. It's not something she resonates with. It's not something she completely understands. And you know that. And when I say that, it's like if she were standing in front of you, she would be like, well, what are you doing? Or stop crying about it and do something. Stop talking about it, or stop letting your kids, just sit on the couch for 4 hours after school, and start to give them some chores. Start to make the oldest one, who's like 20, start to set the expectation. You're responsible for dinner, or you're responsible for making sure everyone's homework is done, or, whatever. But it's like they need responsibilities, and you need to not let them, here she is, you need to not let them sweet talk you out of, sweet talk you in a way that gets them out of what you've asked them to do. Because it's like, I think it's a teenage son, but it's like all he does is come up and say, like, you're pretty, or I love you, Mom. And you're like, okay, I'll load the dishwasher. I always go towards the dishwasher. That's me. That's not Spirit. But you let them get out of it because they say something really sweet, or they're really cute. And then you're like, okay, don't worry about it. Go enjoy yourself. And now it's time for you to have the boundaries. It's lay down the law, give them some parameters in which, or some parameters, that doesn't really make sense to me, some rules. Like she said, you need a new game plan at home. Okay. All right, pile 3. This was very different from the other 2, but not in a bad way. This is the message that you need to hear right now. So if it resonates, go ahead and let me know with a comment or a like. It's a great way to support free tarot here on YouTube. And if you want a personal reading to support you in getting through this, you can check the video description for my offerings. But it's been a pleasure to read your cards. It's been a delight to connect with your grandmother. And until next time, bye.